We have to see how it works every time we do it. We are live, and look, there are a lot of people already at them.
Oh,
And tell them where we are, what we're doing.
we're at Marissa's bookstore in Salt Lake. It is the #1 bookstore in all of Salt Lake.
Voted #1.
Right.
They voted here last week, and all the people in the
No,
bookstore voted. And
correct.
I don't know how
But
it works.
I got to tell you, I'm a little overwhelmed. There's thousands of books here. So if you're a reader, you could spend all day in here and go from section to section to section. And we will be leaving some of our books here for you if you're interested. Will they put that in true crime, or they're going to put that in healing? I don't know what section
Yeah,
our
I
book
don't
is
know.
going to be in, but we have several here. Welcome into our live. So everybody watching, we have friends here that we've taken pictures with. We've done some autographs, some books for. And matter of fact, there's somebody here who has a friend in Canada watching right now. Right. So we'll try to get you a book as soon as possible. But lives are for questions. Rex and I started doing lives because we know a lot of people have questions that they want to ask. Sometimes they're about our lives. Sometimes they're about the case. I know there's a lot of things happening with Chad's lawyer, not going to be Chad's lawyer anymore. A lot of people have been talking about that. So is his trial going to be postponed or not postponed? And we know that Lori's trial is going to be postponed maybe till October. So there's a lot of those kinds of things. I think people are asking, would you rather have the trial happen now, or would you rather have it postponed? And my answer to that, I'm glad to let it be postponed because it gives
Because you're on the witness list.
right, and I don't want to go on trial.
Yeah,
and
so
I don't want to go on there.
Postpone as long as you can.
Yeah, and
So that's a personal reason.
That's my personal reason. I know people are going to judge me for saying that. Why don't you want? I'm not even going to go there anymore. But
We'll judge you for anything you say.
Yeah, that's okay. We're learning.
So we'll be answering questions and talking to people here. So questions y'all have. There's some people we've had a meet and greet for an hour, and then several people have stayed for this live. So if any of you want to be interviewed, we'll bring you up. If you have questions you want to ask, we'll bring you up for that. Let's start though with the first ones that are on here. They're all from Terry. Okay.
Terry's got a lot of questions for this live. Okay. Let's see. Do you know when you're going to have the next meet and greet in Arizona?
So these are questions for you because there's something about pickleball in there too.
Okay. Well, the next meet and greet in Arizona will be when Rex comes. Well, I don't know when your schedule is. Come back to Arizona.
Well, my grandson's birthday is today. Shout out to Cool K, and so I'll be there to take him to a Suns game for his birthday sometime real soon. I don't know when yet, so there won't be a lot of notice for that. But I'm down there about every month, so we'll be doing one pretty soon down there.
Oh, nice. And the other comment is, she said, I bought one Subway, newest subs. It's called the Pickleball Sub because of you. I don't really know if I don't really eat Subway anymore. Once I've discovered Jersey Mike subs, I only eat Jersey Mike subs. But if there's a Subway sub called the Pickleball Sub, I don't know what's on it, but I guarantee there's a lot of pickles on it, and I do like pickles. Then I guess I may be ordering a pickleball sub. But good to know that. Let's see. Another question is, why is Lori's trial postponed? Must have missed that info. That is a good question. Does anybody here know why Lori's was postponed? Yeah. What was it about Lori's trial that got postponed? All right. Timeline. Okay, so yeah, the attorneys were figuring out they needed more time for the timeline. And by the way, Rex and I have been doing this podcast now for, I don't know, 5 months or whenever we started it. And him and I are very hazy with timelines because everything was such a blur to us with all the things that happen so fast to us. So I think Chad's trial obviously will be postponed and Lori's trial will be postponed. So we'll see what happens with that. All right. Any other questions while we're here in Salt Lake? I can't believe.
Salt Lake City.
How do I like Salt Lake City? Well, I used to live here. I'll tell you a story. You guys ready for a story? Or it's almost like we're sitting in a story. We're on like in this room where it's like a story. It's like story time, right? All right. So I lived in Salt Lake back in the day, and I got my first real radio job. I worked at a place called K-Bear, which is a rock station here. K-Bear 101. It's at least that's what it was back in 1990. Is it still K-Bear 101? They still play rock music? Oh, see, things haven't changed a bit. But I am trying to track something down. When I lived here, there was a place that had a lemon pepper chicken sandwich, and it's not existing anymore. And I can't remember the name of it. And I've been Googling it and trying to figure it out because that was the greatest sandwich I've ever had. But
You're still talking food over here?
I talk pickleball and food. We were talking about Subway.
Did you do this? Introduce those two?
I did not. So these two over here. Well, you have Kimberly who started our Facebook group. So let's give. And Lindsay who dared to send us a message saying, guys, you need some help. I'm gonna help you. He was our chief of staff. And so they've done some really good things with our podcast and helping us with, all functions of what's been going on. So,
And I'm sorry, the background's blurred. I don't know on StreamYard how to get that off like I do on normal, what I
so
call
we're just
normal
blurred.
video.
You always blur
But-
the back? Yeah, you were blurred. If you want to get on camera, you have to come over here.
Yeah, and you're welcome for that, by the way.
Yeah.
But as long as we're doing it, let's.
No, we'll take over later.
Now, we didn't show the rest of the people here because we didn't ask them if it's.
Well, when they come sit in the hot seat one at a time, they're all going to get their airtime. Like they're all like, wait, what? So
Did you talk about the audiobook? Nona Malou wants to know also.
okay, so I haven't mentioned the audiobook. Rex and I got an email from our publisher and said that most of the book is done. He complimented us on it, but there's some parts that
So his honesty is suspect right away for compliment.
but he did say there's certain sections that need to be redone because something happened. So as soon as we recut those, I think we'll be good to go. So I don't know when that's going to happen, but hopefully the audiobook will be coming out soon because some people don't like to read. And as I say that inside of a huge bookstore, some people don't like to read. There's books everywhere here. But some people like to listen to books. So yeah, audiobook hopefully will come out soon. And even if you read the book, I think on the audiobook, I talk a little bit more about other things that aren't in the book, in the audiobook. So hopefully all that will be in there.
Yeah, if you enjoy hearing us crying, you'll want to get the audio
Yeah.
because some of that stuff was just tough to get through.
Yeah. There's two parts of the audiobook that I literally broke down. And I was like 10 minutes in there crying. And I was trying to catch my breath and trying to figure out how am I, gonna, because we're supposed to be professional reading a book, and it didn't turn out that way. Hi from Northern California. Hi, Judy. We have from Chicago, Kathy in Chicago checking in. I finished the book completely. Snowed in Iowa. Loved it. Oh, thank you.
Nona Malou.
Anybody here finish our book? So you three actually read it?
Wow.
So
Good job.
what would, on a scale from 1 to 10, where did it get?
Don't ask him that. That's embarrassing.
What?
Oh, well, you didn't tell him which side of the scale, so it's okay.
Was it a good read? Did you learn anything different from the book than you have from the podcast? Or was it just more perspective, or what was it? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we did a decent job with the book. Or Jane's editing did it.
Jane and Aiden are the people that edited it. Yeah, they did a great job.
Sure. So Rex and I, we're okay with going on other podcasts. Him and I don't know hardly anything about true crime. The only reason we're in this is because it's our family and this true crime story. But I know that, and we've talked about this on another podcast. For some reason, women love true crime. They just love it.
And we love women, so that's
Right. So when I,
we're laughing because if you look around the room, it's all women.
Yeah.
Except me and Adam.
right. But I will say this.
Some men have been here, but they left.
And I figured this out a while ago. When I was married, my ex used to watch every single true crime there is. And every time I walked into a room, it was like 20, Dateline or this. And it's like, she goes to bed. She went to bed watching that. And I was like, are you, you're going to sleep. You want to watch this before you go to sleep. So it's just, there's something about it. But there is this, and I will mention this, that you are more aware of your surroundings when you watch that. Because when women walk from the grocery store, or they know their surroundings from watching true crime, because they see the stuff, that real life stuff that happens, which I love, that they're more aware of their surroundings, and it helps them. So Rex and I, unfortunately, we are oblivious to when we leave a grocery store. We don't even know where we park.
Oblivious to a lot.
We have a hard time finding our car.
We need to be sure to repeat questions when people ask that are from here, because
Oh, they can't hear the questions?
Here.
I wonder if the microphones work. We've been on
True
Lawrence.
crime.
Yeah. Yeah, John and Laura.
Yeah, we love them. We're doing more collaboration with them. In fact, Laura was nice enough to stop by when she was in town for the Jody Hildebrandt, whatever was the most recent. She stopped by and met Lisa, my wife, and spent some time with us. And we just love them on a personal basis too, and really respect the work they do. As she is a journalist, he is a psychologist. That's such a great team. And we talked about some collaborating that we're going to be doing. We enjoy that. Gigi McElvey from Pretty Lies and Alibis.
She just added me on Facebook, and I was like, Gigi, is that her? I was like, yeah, that's her. Okay.
She's been great to us.
Yes.
Because
she's
these
been
are all
really good.
people that knew what they're doing in the podcast world. And another person said, talk to these two. They'll talk to you. I've already talked to them. So they've just been great to us.
This one says, Chad's lawyer makes me angry. And I'm not sure. Oh, really? Why?
Well, you see, like, his reason to withdraw is because Chad kept paying,
Right.
but he's dragged it out for 4 years. And again,
Yeah.
now at last minute.
Okay.
he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
That's why.
But Rex, and I asked Rex this yesterday. So Rex's explanation is that when you get an attorney for anything, you pay, what is it?
A retainer.
A retainer, right? And who knows how long you're going to need that. And lawyers charge anyways so much money for different stuff. And if you've ever been through a divorce where it's gotten bad, I had friends go through a divorce where it was $100,000 for each one of them from their lawyers to go through a divorce, because the lawyers are making money dragging it out because they have more money to do that. And I'm not saying bad things about lawyers. I'm just saying that's the system, and that's where it's at. That's my personal opinion. You know how you can write back
to it.
You like the next comments are going to be like, he
From the
doesn't know
lawyers.
anything about
Yeah.
lawyers.
That's true. We don't know much about
That's
lawyers.
true. We don't.
Yeah.
Just what I watch on true
Right.
crime.
But we
So
talk,
there's no lawyers in true crime. It's just killers, right?
we talk about not judging people, and I talked to Lori's lawyers at the sentencing, and I talked to one of them before, because like you, I'll say on the team, I was on the witness list, at one point, and I talked with people on the team, and so I felt very comfortable talking to them and thanking them, even though they were Lori's lawyers, because they're an important part of the system. And I don't know their world, but I do know that Lori did not give them anything to work with, did she? She didn't give them, a reasonable way to defend her, because she's so freaking guilty, probably. And so whatever they did in there, even though I wish they wouldn't have said some of the things they said and objected to some of the things, they're just doing what they could. They didn't have anything to work with. So
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to tell them then, to thank them for their role in the whole thing. And I don't want to sit in judgment on someone that has a job like that. Good heavens. I'm just glad I don't have it. I believe it is hard.
Yeah. So nobody here is going to be a lawyer later in life, right? Okay. We've all made our decisions. Oh, we may have a future. There's a baby here. We may have a future lawyer in the house.
Okay, so let me say this real quick. A friend of mine my best friend in college may stop by. He lives up the street a little bit. Said he's going to try to make it over. He's a lawyer. Okay.
Perfect.
So what does that say about me? First of all, my best friend in college turned out to be a lawyer. What kind of ethics do I have? You know, he's suspect at best. So if he comes in, I'll say, this is my friend, beautiful Bob. And you can all say, oh, okay. So just in case he comes in, let's set that up.
So Nona says that she loved the book. It was a great read. She said she loves the way that you and I in the book went back and forth. So it was me and then you complimented, and then, I think, and
What do we do here?
yeah. And I've written my book. Rex has written a book, but we've never written one together. So, and I think Jane did a great job of
Incredible
making that the way she made it.
In fact, I've been waiting for Jane. Let me report this because we've talked about it. Jane has gone through a horrendous few months with a family member passing unexpectedly, young family member, 21 years old. Their family dealt with that. That's rough enough. Some of you know firsthand. And then at that funeral, turned out to be a spreader event. So everyone there got COVID. And Jane's version of COVID was like the Black Plague. Listener, just horrendous. And so it took her a long time to recover from that. And I didn't want to contact her and make her think, hey, I'm pressing you for something on the book or whatever. And so it took a long time for me to contact her. And finally, I got the nerve and said, hey, I'm checking in. How are you doing? Well, I just got back from the doctor's office. I have pneumonia. And my words to her, like some of you, because we always go through it. I've never been through it like that. But my words to her were, can't you spare some adversity for other people so they can get strong? Do you have to keep it all yourself? I hope you're doing well now, Jane. And she said she is. Last time I contacted her, she said she's doing well. But think of everything that piled up while she was sick.
And the one thing about this podcast, we talk about it a lot. Everybody in their life has moments where it starts sprinkling, and then it rains, and then it thunderstorms, and then a tornado comes. It's like at some point there's things where you're like, can I get a break? And so that's why I think that we're so bonded with this group, that we're all there to support each other.
That's true. Kathy, thank you for this thought for the people here in the room. She said, I finished, and the people that are listening and not seeing the video,
yeah,
I finished, meaning our book, and need to write a review. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you for that reminder for all of us. Please write a review on Amazon, especially if you like the book.
Right. Hey, I asked. I was like, raise your hand if you liked it. All right. Yeah. So now
I gave you a 0.
Yeah, 0. That's not a review.
Yes.
Oh, actually, that is a review. 0.
Just keep that on the down low, please.
What did you like about the book? 0. All right. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no, Malou, look at this.
What's this say?
She said 9. I don't know what the scale is, like 1 to 100.
Oh, it's a solid 9.
Yeah.
My only complaint, it was too short. Well, guys, I got to tell you, you're lucky to get what you got out of the book. Rex and I were just scrambling. And there was times where I was like, over the last 4 or 5 years, I went on the very first time I talked about this case, Kay and Larry had called me and they said, hey, I'm doing a documentary with this A&E. And they said, would you be willing to go on it? And I told Kay, I was like, I really don't want to do it. And Kay called me like 3 or 4 times that week. And then she had the lady from A&E call me, and we started talking, and she's like, look, I just want you to be able to tell your story. I want you to be able to, have a voice on all this. So as they talked me into doing this documentary, on A&E, then I just thought, I'll talk about it. But the lady at A&E said, start writing all your feelings that you have right now. Because this was like when it was going down. And so then I just started writing and compiling my writing and stuff. And those are the days too. And I was talking to one of our guests here, they talked about, Rex has mentioned this many times, where I couldn't get out of bed. There was days where I literally, physically or mentally, and I've never had that in my whole life. I couldn't face the world. I couldn't walk outside my door. I was almost like, what about Bob? Where I was going to take baby steps to get out of the house. But with that being said, I wrote down a bunch of stuff, and I used a lot of that stuff in the book that Rex and I wrote. So I'm glad that I had those raw emotions as I was writing those, and I still had that to put into the book.
I wanted to put this one up.
Okay.
See. Oh, let me put this.
Where's
first.
Sean with the mouse?
Yeah. Will you ever come this way? Possibly. We're doing meet and greets right now. Our thought is targets of opportunity. And so the reason we're here in Salt Lake, frankly, we've wanted to come here and do one, but the real reason we're here is because Lindsay had planned a vacation down here. And we said, Lindsay has been doing so much for us. We said, well, heck, let's come up and meet her, and then we can do a meet and greet up there and maybe do one down in Provo, et cetera. So we're kind of taking targets of opportunity. So I travel with my job from time to time. So if we come to North Carolina or anywhere, those of you who live in the East, you know how it is for us Westerners. We think anything east of the Mississippi is in the same neighborhood, Yeah. And people that grew up, I don't know, maybe if you grew up in Jersey, you kind of think the same way.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we as far as you're concerned, and Carrie, you're in the West, so it's one state. Okay, that's Kimberly. She's saying, she's a Jersey girl. Doesn't live there now. She's in Virginia, right? Okay, but she said, anything west is all the same state. So
where she's in North Carolina?
Yeah, if we get you've been to North Carolina.
I have friends in North Carolina.
You can come along wherever.
I will give Lindsay did beat me in our hockey today. I will give her that.
And I did not.
I beat Rex by one. So Kimberly also beat me in hockey. Rex did not.
That's right.
I was born in Provo. I lived here for like 6 months, and then my parents moved to Southern California. So I was,
and then he found them again.
Yeah.
And so he went to Southern California.
Right. And then I moved to Salt Lake for my first radio job. So I have, and then I lived in St. George for 4 years. I did radio there. So I've been in Utah a lot.
Let's put this one on.
All right.
Baby, they're calling for you.
Oh,
you like
babe. Come on, babe. Bring it, babe.
Okay.
Where is Lisa? She's right here.
I got a bottle of water when I was coughing. It magically appeared. And this is
Don't get blurred.
Do not be interviewing me.
There's Lisa. There she is. Lisa's great. Lisa does so much for us as well too, and she's always commenting and on the Facebook, taking pictures of us and videos, and
doing hair and makeup for me.
Doing your hair.
Yeah. That's good. I like that. Great job. But anyway, so we're doing lives. A couple of things that we want to mention with our lives is that if you want to donate anything, you can. We do have a foundation that the money goes to. We let you try to buy books for people that don't have a book. We have somebody here who actually received a book from one of our optimists, which is awesome.
We love that.
Yesterday, Rex and I were at the Other Side Village, and we videoed while we were there. But will be a podcast later. And we also donate to that place too, because it is amazing what goes on there, and you'll be able to see the behind the scenes of that.
In fact, when you say we donated, actually they donated. People that have donated here during the lives, or you notice Rachel after the last podcast donated just in the comments.
Yeah.
When you donate an even amount, we have been just funneling that money. I don't know if that's money laundering or what, but we've been funneling that money to the other side village. And I think you'll be very pleased when you see the podcast that we recorded, pieces of which we recorded yesterday. You'll be very pleased with those donations.
Which,
It's
by the
just a
way,
tremendous effort.
Rex and I yesterday were recording for this podcast that I wanted to be done on Tuesday, and I sent Sean a message. I was like, Sean, we got some bits and pieces of video. Will we be able to do this soon? And he's like, okay. So this video, this podcast may not be this Tuesday. It may be the following Tuesday. But as Rex and I are new to podcasting, we don't know all the bells and whistles and all the things. We're still trying to work all that out. We do want to mention this. If you want merchandise, Rex is wearing a Silver Lining shirt, which is our podcast. There's a store, and I haven't been to the store yet. I don't have anything yet. I will get that. I know that hurts your feelings, Lindsay. And so, but what if you guys, okay, so Lindsay and Kimberly, if you were to say one thing that people should buy at the merch store, first, where do they go to the merch store? How do they get to the merch store? Hold on, you have to come on the film because I'm not going to
come on up here.
Just real quick. Just tell people where they can get their merch. I know you don't. Encouragement, Lizzie. Yes. All right. So real quick.
Hi, everyone. Okay. Go to Etsy.com. Silver Linings Podcast is what you search for. And then all of our stuff that Kimberly and I created will pop up.
Hold on. What is it called?
Etsy.com.
SC?
Etsy.
Spell it.
ETSY.
That's hard. Etsy.com.
He doesn't know.
This is obviously,
Yeah.
I don't go on that.
Okay. Etsy.com, search Silver Linings Podcast, and
Okay.
all of the things will come up.
Rex's polo shirt, is that a golf shirt? Is that a good one?
No, because I don't golf.
Oh.
Yeah, it depends who wears it.
So I thought Rachel got a hat.
Rachel got a hat. She got a journal, stickers. There's teddy bears, mugs. Yeah, there's all kinds of things you guys can get. So
I just want to mention that because I'll get yelled at if I don't. Okay, good.
Etsy.com.
That's
And
okay. Oh, cow print stuff too. Love it. Hug a cow. Oh, somebody did mention that I did. They were upset that I didn't get to hug a cow at our goat yoga that we did.
You didn't want to walk that far.
Well, it was like a mile and a half. I was like, can't the cow be here for me to hug? Yes, it was. You're right. So
on a serious note, let's address this one. I'll take it first.
okay.
The question, do you wish Chad would plea or would you rather go to trial? Here's my conflicting answer. The reason I would say it both sides.
Yeah.
I would love for all of our questions to get answered. And trial is the only way some of those questions would get answered. So I would love for trial. I don't not necessarily want a trial, but I sure would like the information that could come out of that. And since I don't have any say in it, I guess I can voice both sides. But I would love to spare all of the, not just the taxpayer money, although I'm always for that, but just all of the emotion, everything that goes along with the trial. It is just rough on all of us. Okay, so I wouldn't mind getting spared that, but since I don't control it, we're going to take it either way.
Exactly. I feel the same way. I'm not going to be in Chad's trial, so well, at least I haven't been called for it. I've never met Chad. Somebody mentioned earlier about Chad's kids, and I don't know anything about them either, or his whole side of the family, or what's going on with him. And I have my own thoughts of what happened between him and Lori, even though Lori had cut me off, and I never met Chad. The way things played out, I kind of in my own mind have what I think happened, which makes sense to me. And so, obviously, I don't think that he's going to flee. I mean, Maybe he will plea. I don't know. And I'm hoping Lori pleads because then I don't have to go to trial and she's going to be in life sentences for, I don't know how many, she's never getting out of jail. So to me, it doesn't really even matter. Another trial doesn't matter to me. It matters for other people to get closure. And I get that too. So yeah, I'm on both sides of those, of the tracks on that too.
And here's a follow-on comment from Kathy White. I think probably most all of us, at least the majority, agree with this. So since it's on the same subject, very timely, Kathy. She said, Chad should plea and save Idaho the expense. I seriously doubt a trial will explain the big question, why? I agree with that. We aren't going to, there are some questions we aren't going to find out. We won't find the answer, and that's one of them. Why would they do it?
Right.
We'll never hear definitively. I think all of us have our own theories of why, including us, and we've expressed that, but to get a definitive answer to that, we won't get it, Kathy. I agree. So if that's what you're looking for, it's going to be frustrating
Yeah.
for the rest
Because
of
how
our
do you
lives.
explain crazy?
Right.
Literally, how do you explain it? It's just, I don't know. Yes.
You have a way to
Yeah,
explain
thank-
it?
You think when hearing Lori's trial, you think it'd be the same thing?
With Chad's trial, will Chad's trial and Lori's trial be very similar? I think so. I think it may be a little bit different, but is Chad's trial for Tammy
Oh, yeah.
It's for all.
It's for all of them.
for everything? So there was was Tammy's death in Lori's?
Yeah.
Was it?
It was like.
Yeah.
But-
Because there's so many,
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about an onion, you peel an onion, that's what this case is. Everything's connected. Yeah.
I think what's interesting is they did when they exhumed her. And so I think that's what people are kind of waiting to hear is what did they find to go back and say.
Yeah.
Well, here's what
Will you come up and say that on here so everyone can hear it?
Yeah.
Great comments. Yeah, I'll lie.
encouragement.
That's just good insight. So you'll have to introduce yourself, and Adam will probably interview you for 5 or 10 minutes.
Rex needs a break.
I'm Jacqueline Sells, and my comment was, I think with Chad's trial, we're going to have more come out regarding Tammy's death because a lot of people had questions regarding her being exhumed and things that have come out from what they did when they redid the autopsy and everything. So,
Okay, so what do you have the knowledge that you know? What do you think happened?
I read somewhere that they had wondered if she had been suffocated, and I could see that being kind of along the lines of what happened because no one was really sure of like what exactly happened. And I had heard somewhere else that he'd been saying she'd been sick, but I don't know if that had been true. And so I could see him coming back and saying, oh yeah, she died in her sleep. And if it was suffocation, then that it would make sense because he sleeps right next to her. And you wake up, she's gone.
Her cremated right away.
Yeah, right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a whole thing with Lori too. So if you remember going back when Joe died, right, they cremated immediately. Which then that's to me, red flags go. For me, when somebody dies and you want something done immediately, that instead of investigating it, and so those are red flags. When Charles was killed, same thing. Immediately, we gotta get this thing. We gotta burn their bodies. Like, and so whenever there's always red flags when people immediately once it happens. But for me, there was something in Chad's books, and he was talking, and I talked about this before, but it's that whatever that Mennonite, is it called?
Who?
The things that Lori bought a ring that was made of Mennonite. And if you take a different form of that, it causes, it's a poison or something, and it causes the foam in your mouth. So Alex had that, and Tammy both had that.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So there's some things that all kind of tie into me that we've talked about this too, Alex. Malachite? Yeah, Malachite. And I think Chad mentions that in his book a lot, in his fantasy books or whatever. But I remember them talking about that, and that could be something that they both were poisoned too. I'm sure,
I think there's
sure,
one thing,
yes, I'm sure there's a lot of that. And so maybe in that, if Chad does go to trial, maybe we'll learn, what exactly happened. But if he's not going to say what happened, it's just people speculating.
Oh yeah, it is.
Oh.
And that's the thing. No one really knows.
Yeah.
Until we know.
Thing is, the kids have to go through all that.
And
too.
his kids have to go through the
Yeah.
thing. And here's what and I feel for his kids too, because I feel like some of them believe him. So that's where I feel like you don't want to think that your dad could kill your mom. As a kid growing up, you just don't ever want to feel like that or think like that. So that's what his kids have to process. And so that's why I don't think that they even want to go down that route. If that's the case, I'm sure there's other kids that realize what's happening. Yeah, but yeah, that would be interesting if that does go to trial. We'll try to figure out what happens with that. And then with Lori's trial, what are we going to learn about, what happened with Brandon's shooting and with Charles, we'll have to, for me, I have to relive that all over again and be in court and all that. So for that to be postponed, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's really hard.
Yeah.
We gotta kind of look at the other side of how you see it. Now,
Yeah.
I see on there that they're saying
Yeah.
people are mad because it's postponed. We have to look
Yeah.
at both, have to look at the victim.
Yeah,
side. We have to
people
look
were
at the
people were mad at me. I think the last time we did a podcast and we were talking about that. They're like, you don't want to see Lori get justice because you want it to be postponed or not go to trial. And that's not it. I already know
No.
Lori's getting her justice.
Because we can sit out here and say that,
Yeah.
we're not part of it.
Yeah, you wanna get.
So-
Yeah.
Well, people need to hear that.
come on in.
Well, we don't know.
Yeah.
That's a nice word.
Anna, can you hear all these people? Is everything going through?
Someone said access to.
A little bit. Let's see if check. Let's talk in that seat.
Well, those are my phones. So people hear.
No, but it goes through the computer too.
Oh.
Please, can you hear this better?
Can
Well,
you
let's check to
hear me?
Anna. Check. Anna, can you hear us better like this? Yes? Okay, talk in the microphone. I knew it.
Okay, what I'm thinking is the people commenting, they are not living like Adam is and Rex is. We're seeing it from a different view. They're complaining because there's not going to be a trial. But the victims have to go through all this. They have to go to the trial. They have to see what's going on, and they have to live it. We don't have to live it. We're complaining because there's not going to be a trial. We're complaining because we can't watch it. But the victims have to sit there. They have to go through it. The kids have to go through it. They have to live it. I think we need to pull back and not complain and not, when Adam says he's okay if they don't have it right now, because he'll have to go there and sit. He has to relive it. Chad's kids have to relive it. I think we need to pull back and not get after everybody about it. That's just my insight on looking at the other side of it.
Thank you. Out there. All right, we're halfway through the podcast now. We know no one can hear us except when we talk in the microphones. Great. Thank you, Anna. Somebody else says, where does the money go to from Etsy? And I think we just buy more merchandise for you guys to buy. I don't think it's like, I don't know if it's like, we're not donating
Let's
that.
have Kimberly come on and talk about that.
Kimberly,
Yeah.
come on back. Welcome back. This is almost like the old talk shows where you who was it? Was it Nori? Was it Maury Povich or who was it? No, before that, the old got the glasses. No, before him.
Geraldo?
No, before him. Phil Donahue. He would just talk to the audience. All right, Kimberly, it's your turn. Drop the mic.
So explain who Kimberly is.
Okay, so Kimberly started. Okay, so let's just go back. Kimberly started our Facebook group, which a lot of you that are watching or listening have joined. And when she started it, she said, "I'm going to start this and this a thing." I told you I joined, and then I posted a couple of pictures, and I was like, "Hey, I think everybody could enjoy this." And Kimberly's done a fantastic job doing the Facebook group, and it's turned into one of those groups on Facebook that everybody that's on
Not
is
one of those.
Yeah, isn't that?
yeah,
one
it's
of those.
literally the only Facebook group that I've been a part of that is all positive, and it's been really great. But going back to merchandise, because some people like to buy things, and if they're part of the optimist group, they would want it.
Yeah. So all of that right now is going right back into merchandise. So looking at other vendors and other sites that might have more options for things everyone wants. So right now, we're looking at everything that you're buying and figuring out, okay, people want more of this, want less of this. So if you're in the Facebook group or if you're on YouTube, please leave comments. What do you want to see? What kind of products do you want? Do you want to hug a cow like Adam? Do you want a really cool
Yes.
nifty t-shirt like Rex? Do you want sexy Rexy socks? Do you
See, so
So yeah, right now we're just generating movement with the Etsy store. So the more things that you buy, the more we can figure out what it is that you like and what you want, so we can pick other vendors and start pumping out merchandise everyone really wants.
yeah, applaud. There we go.
Okay, I'm just gonna make a little sound. Very gingerly put it down.
They want what? Pickleball sets.
Well, you're gonna have to design those. Yeah, I don't know anything about pickleball.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going down.
We could do air hockey pucks. Okay, I'm done.
That's the thing about lives is we read the questions that come up, and hopefully we have an answer for everybody. That's why we do lives. This is like for you guys to ask us questions that you may have questions about and want to know. We're going to give you the best honest answers that we can give you. All right, what else any other questions in here live? If not, we'll take some of these. All right. Addiction is a huge issue for families. Would love to see more podcasts on helping with addiction. Well, you're about to see one from the Other Side Village. Rex and I recorded it yesterday, which will come out soon. But yeah, I think you're right. Once we did the Other Side Village and we interviewed Brian and Robbie, I think there's all the comments were like, everybody has a family member that has gone down that path. Or close to it, or knows somebody. And so, yeah, the addiction. And it's not just alcohol and drugs. Addiction goes gambling, sex. There's a lot of things that people become addicted to. Playing pickleball, for instance. I know somebody who is addicted to playing a lot of pickleball. It's an addiction sometimes. So, but yes, I think that's good to know, so we can have more people on.
It is. I'm so excited for that, for people to see that, and just being there for the few minutes we did it. I got so much out of it. I know all of you will get a lot out of it, and we need to do more with them for the reason that this question says. It's a huge issue for families, and the more information we can get. What I loved about it is sitting there with the neighbor, they call them neighbors.
Yep.
Right. In the Other Side Village. So you're sitting there with the people that were homeless or that had these mental issues, talking to them and asking about their experience there. And we call this silver linings. We remember Tylee and JJ as we say that, as used to be in the name, but being there is just a huge silver lining of life for people that have had that experience for 30 years. One of the guys we were talking to, and now has hope that he is going to be done with that part of his life. That's just so exciting. Everyone wants to hear that.
Yeah,
I think.
All right. Another question on here from South Carolina. Has anybody in your family heard from Lori? Is she grieving about the realization of her kids being killed, or is she sticking to the same story? Yeah, she's still sticking to the same story. And I don't know if she's ever going to think about it. If you were in Lori's situation, no matter what your brain is, like Rex and I, we can't understand her heart or her brain. We don't know where it's at, but just common sense tells me if you killed your kids and you are on this thing where you did it for a reason, there's no way you're going to come out of that reason and one day be like, oh,
You mean your excuse?
your excuse,
Your
right?
alternate reality.
Right. You're
reason
never going to
came
be able
up
to
with.
do that because, how can you live with yourself when you did something like that? So I don't know if we're ever going to, see Lori grieve over that.
True that. And right along with that, Kathy asks, do you honestly believe that Chad will share the real story? None of us think he will share the real story. It's just like we didn't expect that from Lori. And we did, and we weren't disappointed in that regard. We didn't think she would, and she didn't. Chad's not going to either. He's going to, well, like a cornered animal, do whatever he can. We don't know what that is. Probably like Lori, he's going to have, it's the other way around what I'm about to say. So let me say both sides. I'm going to say he's probably going to have to do what the attorneys advise him. However, they're the ones in control. The defendant's the one that's in control, and the attorneys have to carry that message. That's why I said earlier, Lori didn't give her attorneys anything to work with, anything reasonable that they could use in a courtroom to defend their client. She didn't give them that. I don't think Chad will give them much either, but I personally believe he'll be more likely to not be as irrational as Lori was in that situation.
Yeah, I agree.
But what defense does he have? What's he going to say? There's nothing. He's got nothing.
I think he'll throw.
Everybody thinks he's going to throw Lori under the bus. And so, but what does that mean? It's just all Lori.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
so Lori told me to. Okay, but you still did it. You were still an accomplice.
Right. Yeah.
That doesn't
Well,
even help you. But
So
of
does
course
that
it-
help him get out of the death penalty? Is the main objective for Chad that he gets out of the death penalty and just goes to jail the rest of his life? And if you think about the death penalty, they're on death row for 20 or 30 years. It's like a life sentence. It's not, to me, to me, it's the same thing, right? He'll be in jail the rest of his life. So to me, if he gets the death penalty or stays in jail the rest of his life,
Yeah.
it doesn't really push me one way or another. Oh, the jail he's in is what? Oh, it's a little jail? Oh, okay. So you want him to go to, yeah, huge adjustment to go to a different jail? Yeah.
So you want him to be with more people that may not appreciate having to breathe the same air as someone who killed their children. And I will express the sentiment of one of my daughters. I won't name which one, but when we were discussing this as a family, I brought this up before, but she surprised me with this. We were saying, well, do y'all want the death penalty or not? And this is when the discussion was about Lori. And one of my daughters said, no, I am opposed to her having the death penalty. But okay, well, why is that? She said, because I want her to live the rest of her life rotting in a cell, knowing what she did to those children. Thought, whoa, that daughter is angry, and we all are. Yeah, that's a good point, Tanya. What Tanya said, for those that didn't hear it.
Anya, get over here.
Lori- Don't shame the poor woman. Okay, but
Right. We're all taking turns.
the point was that Lori didn't, rationally wasn't there. Yeah, she couldn't have been. Okay, now, and I don't know how true either side is, but the fact that she is not irrational enough to change her story for the situation tells me there's some reasoning going on, which causes me to hope that underneath that alternative reality, which she has to show to everyone, she knows. I just hope that little glimmer's there. I don't know that it is, but I hope it is. I know we all have a conscience. I know you can't get away from your conscience. And so we all try. Now, not being as extreme as Lori doing something so despicably evil, we all do things, and we all build a little story around it to justify it, don't we? Don't raise your hands, but how many of you exceeded the speed limit on your way? Don't raise your hands. Well, the only reason wait a minute, wait, this is not confession. I'm not that religion, okay?
I drove with Rex. That's why I was in a car going.
Okay,
to
now we really don't need.
Please come get him.
Okay. But point being, anytime we do something wrong, we build a little story to justify it so we can live with the discomfort of knowing we did something wrong. Okay, and so we've justified our well, that's what she did. It's just to such an extreme gratefully, we can't imagine how extreme that is, but it's the same process. And so I like to believe that her conscience is still right there. And there are moments where she has to face it. And she'll bail away from it as quickly as you can, like we all do. But think how extreme hers is, her situation. She'd have to. Exactly.
Well, can
She
I-
said she'd have to because you don't know how you could live it.
Yeah, I've been
I
saying
can't
that
imagine.
since day one.
Yeah. But I still like the idea of thinking she's not going to get away from that conscience. Okay. And so however she copes, she does, but that is not a good existence. And that's what she deserves, I believe. I'm a little bitter. Okay.
You are bitter,
Yeah.
but you have a right to be, but can I be honest about something? So I follow this.
Wait, the answer is yes, but why do you have to ask for permission to be honest? Now we're wondering about you.
Because I'll have a lot of hate towards me once I say this. Okay.
So an unnamed
Unnamed
participant
person.
here.
Yes. We won't put you on camera.
From day one. I had this evil impression of Lori from day one. And seeing her in the courtroom in Boise, I had the evil. But hearing her voice for the first time at sentencing, she was so soft spoken, even though she was talking erratic, she was so soft spoken that I would have never in a million years thought that she could be that. So at that point is when I changed, not saying what Lori did is right, but a whole different perspective of the whole thing. And so I believe that Lori could have a soft side to her. I think, yes, she's delusional. Yes, what she did was wrong. But in some, I see it.
Yeah.
So what she said, for those that couldn't hear that, do you want to
Right.
repeat basically?
Well,
She said that-
she's, obviously when you see Lori and she has that demeanor on her, you have a feeling it was like she's evil. But then when you hear her talk and you realize she's, soft spoken and she's coming from a delusional place, that you don't feel as the same feeling you had at the beginning, basically. And Rex, I've been telling you this, from the day one. She went down a wrong path. She's had a lot of things go on in her life, but she's, just wasn't an evil person growing up. And so, that's coming from us, but some people are recognizing and some people don't. And I think everybody has the right to feel however you want to feel about it. And I'm never going to judge anybody for feeling about that. Yeah. So, okay. Are we done or is there a couple more?
There's more.
Oh, there is?
I'm not sure what this means, Donna. Give us a little more on this. The question is, are you gentlemen gotten offered membership? We aren't sure membership in what. So
Have we
please
gotten
give us
offered
more.
membership? The bookstore?
Not sure what
Are we
that
a
is,
member of the
so-
bookstore? I mean, I would like to be one. There's a lot of good books in here. Oh, here we go.
Well, there are 190 comments.
Oh, I was gonna say, it was like, where are all the comments? Oh, there they are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see our moderator, Anna,
Yeah.
is starring comments for us. So we're reading those.
Oh, yeah, but
But
there's
she's going through all these 190 comments
gotcha.
and picking out ones for it. So we appreciate Anna's work with this. And without Sean, I know y'all miss Sean because he became part of the group when we were in the studio.
Yeah.
We were visiting with him this week. He's still part of the team, so to speak, but we miss him we miss him being here. But Anna's really stepped in technology wise and is bailing us out. So thank you, Anna.
Hold on, this can't be right.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
How is that?
I
How is
did-
that possible? How is that possible?
Lisa posted it while we were there.
Oh, you posted it already? Oh,
It's,
that's why. I was like,
Kathy
what?
Reeves says, "Congrats on being a multi-sport player, Adam. Saw your basketball practice at Dave and Buster's."
Yes.
Which
So,
was right before we came to the bookstore.
yes, I love sports.
Thanks for
Basketball
posting
and
that, babe.
pickleball. I told you Lisa does so much. Let's see.
These are the unstarred comments. I'm going.
Okay.
We got that one.
Any other questions from anybody watching our live today? We do lives so we can answer your questions. If you feel like you want to donate to the foundation, you could do that. I think we're still buying books. Stuff is still going to the village, the other side village, which Rex and I were there yesterday. We told you we're going to post that video, that podcast as soon as we can. I think a lot of people benefit from watching that.
That was into one.
Who's got
There
the
we go.
mouse? Why is this always just women? You'd think men would be interested.
We talked about that.
We did talk about that a little earlier, so.
And we've done a whole podcast on that. We really explained why we think the majority of people are interested, and what most of it is true crime. And then also I think, maybe the healing aspect and, bonding and trying to, have a group. Back in the day, do guys ever, I know women have like bunco groups and that stuff. I guess guys have poker nights. So yeah, I guess I can't say that.
Okay, here's what Donna was talking about. We talked about doing a
podcast offer
level.
membership. Oh yeah.
We talked more about that today, Donna, since we're here with Kimberly and with Lindsay, people that we get input from. We love getting input from everyone. In fact, let's talk about that next.
Okay.
But we were discussing a membership level that has more privileges, more options. So
Right.
we aren't there yet, but that's in the works. So thank you for asking. Oh, and that's what we want to talk about next. Adam and I here's what we need. We started the podcast saying we'd do 10 episodes because we wanted to hear what you would want to read in a book. Okay. And we got there and we couldn't step away because y'all were being so good to us, and you're being good to each other and saying, I need this. I need what this is developing into. We aren't quite sure what it's developed into. We know we love it. We know it is incredible that people are so good to each other on the internet. We're kind of bound in a community. When I say bound, we like being in this community and sharing with each other and getting to know each other, even in person here. There's just so much positive happening. We want to make sure to honor that and get people what they want out of this experience. So through any method, email at rexandadam.com, comments on here, wherever you can, let us know what you want. And even in this, Donna, what would make a membership where you're paying, I don't know how much people pay for memberships like this, 5, 10 bucks.
I think $1 million.
$1 million's good. $1 million.
How
Yeah,
much
let's
monopoly
go for that.
money do you have? So $7 or $12 a month. And
No,
then
12,000, I think.
what do you get out of that? Is it extra content? Is it a personal one-on-one with them? Or? Okay.
But they can go to their special like this.
Yeah. Or a live meet and greet or whatever it is. See, Rex and I don't feel like we're special, so that's the problem. We're like, hey, you guys need to do something. Like, what? Why would people want to do that? Sure, say something about our podcast.
You want to come up and tell everyone? It's okay.
Come on. Otherwise, people won't be able to hear you. And you need to. Yeah, come on in.
Well, your Facebook site and your podcast.
Okay.
Most Facebook sites, you go on there and they're so negative, and you get trash talk, you get negativity from it. I don't see that on your Facebook site. Yeah, I can go there and have a feel good feeling. And your podcast.
Kimberly's very mean to people, but that's why we like her. Yeah.
And then your podcast, you tell the story and everything, but I can go on there and it's not all negative. I could go on there and have a good feeling too. Like I do listen to crime stories, and there's a time that I have to pull away because I really start getting down. And I have to pull away, but I can go on to yours and there's different areas and categories you go into, and I can walk away and have a good day.
Awesome.
So,
Well, thank you for saying that. I
Yes.
appreciate that. So, and Rex and I tried to figure out what do we want to make, what do we want to do on the podcast? What do we expect on the podcast? So when I throw in, like we throw in goat yoga, or we have Craig Shoemaker, the comedian, on, there's always a behind what's happening. We talk about everybody's lives on here and with our lives. And so we understand that, we're trying to figure out this podcast thing and what people want. So this is always good to get input from what you guys want from us. So,
And our unnamed person here that's here with us just told me Paula's there. So
yeah,
she went to every Facebook group, and there are a lot of them, aren't there,
there's a lot.
about this
Yes.
case, and just hasn't followed them all. Still follows this podcast, but hasn't followed them all because for the same reason. This is positive. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Yeah, because she
It's
gets
just
positivity here.
It's so many people coming together on different trends.
right.
Yeah, it's not based on that tragedy, she said. It's people talking about every tragedy, especially your own, because so many of us have them.
Yeah.
States in the book.
That's just one of the things I love about this, that someone else, some of you are sending books to other people, others of you are donating, and that money has gone to purchase books to send to other people. It's the same love, the same sharing, the same attitude, and that's what's bringing us all together, I guess.
Yeah, I like it. Before you leave the video, hit the like button. It's an easy way to help the channel reach others. Oh, really? So
Thank you,
I still
Missy.
don't know how
On
that works.
YouTube, you can.
You can't hit the like button?
There is no like button. So that is why you're not getting likes.
Oh, there's no like button.
There is none on the YouTube when you watch it.
Oh,
So from the live chat, there is, if you.
yeah.
My
Well, don't ask Rex and I. We have a hard
We do
time.
know it's different on your phone than it is on the left.
Yeah. Thank you though for doing that. Following us, I guess, like and follow and tell your friends about
And we
it.
need to shout out Missy too, whose name was up there before it just disappeared. Missy is also a moderator,
Yes,
and
Missy.
kind of learning the ropes with Anna.
And by the way, Anna, thank you again for setting all this up. Anna does such a great job for us, moderating and working with other people that are going to be moderators for us for the lives. Rex and I were never even going to do a live, and then people are like, "Oh, you're going to have to start doing lives." We're like, "What?" But we were on to go in a studio and record. They're like, "No, you need to go do lives." So let's see. Gosh, well, there was something on my mind, but of course, there's so many things in my mind, I just can't get to them all.
I guess we can close with this one.
Okay.
And we're gonna hang around here for a little while here in the bookstore, but yeah, we are singing Kumbaya. This is kind of just the mystery. There's no answer to this, but Rhea says, I wonder why Lori's so beautiful, so much going for her, and then this. Why? That's the answer we'll never get.
Yeah.
Again, we all have theories, but
Well, there's also this too, and I want to end with this. In life, you'll see somebody that you think is super successful. They're good looking, they have a great personality, they have money, they have all these things, and then they commit suicide. And you're like, you have everything. What can you be upset about? Or so we just, like Rex says, we don't really know what's in the heart and in the minds of people. And that's why I think with this podcast, as we all have this group, especially on Facebook, if you want to have something to say. I remember one time somebody mentioned on Facebook, I'm going down a really bad phase right now. And then like all these people jumped on to try to talk to her and give her support. I think with these kinds of groups and this kind of thing, this is what people feel more comfortable instead of, staying in a dark room or, having those bad thoughts that, this is a podcast and this is a group that we can bond together, come together, no matter what your circumstances are, and feel like you can be truthful and tell whatever you want to say. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've got out of doing this podcast is knowing, look, no matter what happens, we have support.
And I've got to end on this one, and I'm sorry it's going to bring back to something that all of you have heard me say so much, and I'm not going to ever stop saying it. But a person asked, Rex, would you consider offering any advice? First of all, the answer to that is no. But any advice on combating anxiety? But she said, please. How do I not say something when she says,
Say it.
please? No, I don't have any advice, unfortunately, on that or anything in life, except the advice I give that I truly believe in. I feel is part of what, not what I'm supposed to cry over, but what I'm supposed to be doing in life. And that is, I don't know what's going on with you, but I truly believe the answer is be guided by your internal guidance, and it will lead you to someone or something that can help you. And it may be someone in this group. Read the comments, because you have in this group dozens and dozens of people that are struggling with and have struggled with anxiety. They may not have your answer. Most of us may say things that you've already heard, I'm sure, from a lot of people, but someone may be there. If you follow your conscience, I truly believe your conscience will lead you to the resources to help you find the answers that you're looking for. So I wish it could be me, because I wish I could do that for people, but I don't have that. But I do believe you do, and I believe each of us does.
And I do love your name, Shady Lamps, and you have a picture of the cutest dog. So you have a lot going for you. I
lot
love
going for you
that.
already.
I already love that. Hopefully they'll get away. Dogs, by the way, petting dogs. If you have a dog and you pet your dog, your stress and anxiety does slip away. So I love your dogs, man. I need to get one bad.
Thank you for asking that, though, and giving me the chance to stay with my recurring theme of that's the best place. That's the best first place to go for answers.
Yep.
It'll lead you to the better places to find answers. I truly believe that. And with that, let's wrap up our.
All right. We want to thank Marissa's Bookstore and Gifts, the #1 bookstore in Salt Lake City. If you're ever in Salt Lake City, you need a book, I'm telling you, you could get lost in this place. Tons of books. Thank them for letting us host it. And we're actually going to leave a couple books here too, if you want to come get a book as well. Anything else?
Oh, I wish we're so organized that we can tell them when the next live is and and the next meet and greet.
Podcast, or even
look at Lindsay.
Even the next
Look at
podcast.
Lindsay.
Even
Welcome-
the next podcast.
Welcome to Lindsay's world. She's just over there shaking her head. But stay with us, please, and let us know what you're looking for and what we can do for that. Let's close with that.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. Listening.